Bolivia me hace integrar lo que está unido desde que el mundo es mundo. Bolivia me...
Bolivia, a land with a history so unstable, it could use a good therapy session. Between 1825 and 1982, they racked up over 188 coup d'etats. Yep, that's right, Bolivians were just a tad busy. But hang on to your hats, folks, because the 2020 democratic restoration shines like a beacon of hope amidst all that political chaos. It's like finding the last slice of pizza after a party. It truly feels significant. Now, speaking of coups, let's talk about the one against Evo Morales, which was kind of like getting kicked off the school's dodgeball team by the biggest kid in the yard. The US government and some business folks wanted a piece of Bolivia's lithium reserves. Imagine that. Geopolitical poker going on while Bolivia was just trying to enjoy some peace and quiet. Talk about not having boundaries. And here's where Bolivia gets a big thumbs up. It has a bottom-up democracy, making the average Joe, yes, the one with the questionable fashion choices, an active participant in politics. Citizens get to influence decisions beyond just casting their votes, and families can dive into political discussions like they're debating who gets the last cookie. Now that's engaging. Let's give a standing ovation for Evo Morales. Who would have thought he'd be the first indigenous leader elected in the Western Hemisphere back in 2005? His rise to power was like a plot twist in a popular movie, and it stirred things up like Grandma's famous chili. Morales' election was a huge departure from the usual political drama we were used to, and it gave hope to many families dreaming of a fairer future. Remember the water crisis in Cochabamba back in 2000? It was like a family feud escalated to epic proportions. Massive protests against privatization made waves, and Morales was right there, rallying the troops. Who knew water could cause such a splash in the political arena? Talk about fighting for your rights, one H2O bottle at a time. Now, let's shine a spotlight on the Movimiento al Socialismo, MAS. It's not just your average political party. It's more like the family reunion where everyone gets a voice, especially the marginalized groups. This is a stark contrast to traditional political structures in the US, where sometimes it feels like only a select few get to call dibs on the last slice of pizza, if you catch my drift. Fast forward to 2006 through 2017, and here comes a big ol' fist bump. Bolivia saw extreme poverty drop from 38% to 15%. Morales introduced strong minimum wage and cash transfer programs, like a generous aunt handing out cash at Christmas. With these effective policies in place, families could breathe a little easier, proving that a little support goes a long way. And guess what? Bolivia transformed into Latin America's fastest-growing economy during Morales' administration. It's like when your family goes on a pizza diet, and suddenly everyone notices the glow. Progressive policies can lead to massive growth, and this wasn't just about numbers. Inequality took a nosedive along with it. Talk about a win-win. But wait, there's more. Persistent activism from social movements kept Morales on his toes. Families and community members ensured that their voices echoed louder than the corporate interest drama queens. Talk about accountability. It's like when the kids remind their parents about that promise for ice cream after dinner, keeping everyone in check. Now, here's a fascinating idea: ruling by obeying. This concept challenges the usual bossy pants leadership and promotes collective governance. It's like having a family meeting where everyone gets to wear the crown, reminding leaders that they should listen to the people's wishes. It's democracy in action, folks, and who wouldn't want that? Despite the hurdles they've faced, Bolivians showed remarkable resilience, defending their democracy against right-wing coups like a family defending their secret recipe. Grassroots activism helped them stand tall, illustrating the power of community organization. If that's not a family sticking together, I don't know what is. And here's a little nugget for you. Bolivians reportedly have a better satisfaction with their democracy compared to some folks in the US and Europe, who sometimes feel like they're just part of a long, boring movie no one wants to watch anymore. Isn't it fascinating how perspective can flip like a pancake on Sunday morning? Then there's the US progressive movements. They often start like a campfire, full of enthusiasm, but then they turn into a pile of ashes without lasting policy changes. So many dreams grounded with great expectations, yet often falling flat. It's like planning a family game night, only for everyone to bail at the last minute. In contrast, Bolivia's grassroots left kept the flame alive. Their continuous advocacy is like that family member who keeps asking for game night, no matter how many times it's canceled. Their active engagement serves as a shining example of how to resist authoritarianism effectively. Never underestimate a determined family member. So, let's wrap it all up with a cherry on top. The principle of ruling by obeying is crucial for safeguarding democracy. Bolivia teaches us that we shouldn't blindly follow leaders, but instead, speak up for our democratic principles. Just like at family dinner, where everyone should have a say, let's not forget to keep our voices loud and proud. In Bolivia, we've got a hefty issue with chronic malnutrition and anemia among children and women, making it clear that we need some serious superhero nutrition policies and resources to swoop in and save the day at the municipal level. Now, when it comes to farming in Bolivia, it's a tale of two farms. The small-scale traditional farms, where you can hear the sound of a farmer talking to his crops, and then there's the large-scale monoculture farms that are more like a conveyor belt of corn. Knowing how these farming styles impact food security is crucial. It's like trying to decide whether to have pizza or salad for dinner. Both tasty, but not always nutritious. Speaking of food, let's chat about transgenic crops. Sure, they might promise more food, but they also raise red flags about sustainability and battling pests. Like trying to sweat a fly at a picnic. It's all about finding that balance without losing your lunch. Out in Bolivia's Amazon, it's a tug-of-war between traditional farming and the ever-growing pressure from livestock and crops. It's like watching a family game of tug-of-war where everyone just wants to keep their dinner from getting muddy. In a plot twist, local communities are ditching the old-school harvesting methods for some snazzy value-added processing of the overexploitation of natural resources, including those sneaky illegal logging and mining operations, is throwing a wrench in the whole, saving the planet plan and making the Amazon's biodiversity quiver in fear. It's like watching a soap opera tragedy unfold right in front of your eyes. Did you know that over 17% of Bolivia is protected areas? That's right. It's like having a massive nature reserve where animals can frolic and plants can grow without a care in the world. Conservation efforts are just as crucial as your family's annual game of Monopoly because we don't want to land on boardwalk and find it's now a parking lot. However, the Amazon's biodiversity is under threat, with projections casting a shadow over species as agricultural expansion expands its territory. Sustainable development is like the family motto: everybody thrives for the long haul, or we all end up eating burnt toast. Bolivia has some fantastic genetic resources that can help secure food without relying on those flashy, genetically modified organisms. It's like being able to make dinner without the secret ingredient that keeps getting you in trouble. Good old-fashioned traditional farming and local economies to the rescue. But hold on tight, because deforestation in the Amazon stretches all the way to the Atlantic, creating an ecological crisis. It's like playing Jenga with your family, and that one piece no one wants to pull out lest the whole tower collapse. We need to be careful with agricultural activities. You'd be surprised. The Amazon has tons of underutilized resources, from diverse forest goodies to snacks you never knew could boost your local economy. Sustainable practices are the key to unlocking these hidden treasures, just like finding that piece of chocolate you hid from your kids. Now, let's talk about Law 337. This legislation is designed to tackle deforestation by giving landowners who strayed into the illegal side a second chance. But as with any family gathering, there are tensions among local communities regarding who is following the rules and who isn't. Integrating agroforestry practices has been a game changer, allowing community members to juggle crops like nuts and fruits so they can keep the income rolling in all year long, just like balancing chores at home, so no one gets stuck doing the dishes every night. Better market opportunities are a must for producers facing the challenge of selling their products at fair prices. It's like when you set up a lemonade stand in the summer. If nobody wants to buy, you might just end up with a ton of lemonade and a very sticky situation. Empowering local communities through training and financial support is like giving them